Dangal greetings po and good day everyone. I'm Novicio Mary Price from 1BS ITB, and in this video we will be presenting our research project, which is a student registration and fee calculation system developed using Java Swing. The main objective of this project is ma-apply po namin yung knowledge namin sa GUI programming by creating a system na kaya mag-input ng student information, mag-allow ng selection ng courses and additional services, at automatic na mag-compute ng total fees. Instead of doing the process manually, nakakatulong po yung system para maging madali o mas mabilis, mas accurate at mas organized yung calculation or computation. The system includes several key features, such as input validation para mas masiguradong tama yung data na ini-input, automatic fee calculation, at pag-display ng selected information gamit ang tables para mas maayos, mas madaling maintindihan. May transaction recording features din po para matrack lahat ng student records as well as reset function para madaling mag-clear ng input kapag may bagong entry. Overall, this project allows us to use both basic and advanced Java Swing component habang sinusunod yung proper coding practices. Through this, mas na-enhance namin yung programming skills namin at nagkaroon kami ng experience sa pag-develop ng system na pwede talagang gamitin sa real-life situation. And now, to further explain how our system works, I will pass the presentation to our next presenters. Thank you po.
Greetings everyone. I am Athena Gwinnett Pasco. For my part, I will be explaining in detail the fundamental Java Swing components used to construct our student registration and fee calculation system. Specifically, I will discuss the JFrame, JPanel, JLabel, JTextField, and JRadio Button, and explain how each component contributes both structurally and functionally to our graphical user interface. So to begin with, we use JFrame, which serves as the main window of our application. It is the top-level container that holds and displays all other components such as panels, labels, buttons, tables, and input fields. Without the JFrame, the program would run, but no interface would appear on the screen. In our code, we configure the JFrame by setting its title, defining its size and position, and specifying its close operation to properly terminate the application. At this part of the explanation, I will show the section of the code where we configure the frame. Here is the code, as you can see. Here, setTitle assigns the window title displayed at the top of the application. Self-default close operation ensures that the program closes completely when the user exits the window. SetBounce defines the size and starting position of the frame. Then we created a JPanel called Content Pane, set its layout to null for absolute positioning, and attach it to the frame using setContentPane. This establishes the main container where all other components will be placed. Next, we use JPanel to organize the interface into structured sections. Instead of placing all components directly inside the JFrame, we divide the interface into logical groups such as student information, courses and services, selected items, and transaction log. This makes the interface cleaner and easier to understand. While explaining this part, I will show how we created one of the panels. In this code, we create a JPanel, a new panel called Student Panel. We added a title border to label the section properly, as you can see over here. We then set its size and position using the set bound, apply a null layout for manual placement of components, and finally add it to the main content pane. This process is repeated for the other panels in the system, ensuring that each part of the interface is properly grouped and organized. So moving forward, we use JLabel to display static text that guides the user. Labels are important because they identify what type of information the user needs to input. For example, labels such as name and age are displayed because their respective text fields. At this point in the presentation, I will show the code we created later. Here, we create a label with the text name. We then position it within the student panel and add it to that panel. Labels do not accept user input. They simply provide clear instructions or descriptions under the interface. Next is the JText field, which allows the user to input text data into the system. In our application, we use text fields to collect the student's name and age. This component is essential because the system relies on user input to perform validation and fee calculation. While explaining this part, I will show the code where the text field is created. This code creates a text field, positions it beside the label, and adds it to the panel. Later in the program, we retrieve the input value using the getText method during validation as shown here. The .getText method captures what the user entered, and .trim removes unnecessary spaces. This input is then checked for correctness before proceeding with fee calculations. This demonstrates how JText Field connects the graphical interface to backend logic of the system. Lastly, we use JRadio button for gender selection. Radio buttons are used when only one option should be selected from multiple choices. To ensure that only one option can be selected at a time, we group them using button group. Here, we created two radio buttons and position them properly. By adding them to a button group, we ensure mutual exclusivity, meaning selecting one automatically deselects the other. This prevents invalid input and supports our validation logic later in the program. So to conclude, JFrame serves as the main window container. JPanel organizes components into structured sections. JLabel provides descriptive text. JText field collects user input and here. And JRadio button enforces single choice selection. These components work together to form the structural and interactive foundation of our graphical user interface, allowing our system to function in a clear, organized, and user-friendly manner. Now, let's move on to the next part of the program.
Hey everyone, my name is Catherine Matiliana, and now naman, i-continue lang natin yung discussion about sa components na mga ginamit namin. So, tayo dito. Specifically, I will be discussing the J checkbox, J tables, and then yung J button. So first, dito sa courses, as we can see, gumamit lang kami ng J checkbox, and then yung meron siyang label, of course, kung anong courses yun, and then yung fee or yung cost nito. Ganoon din sa special services, gumamit lang din ng checkbox, din yung label. So dito sa course and courses and services, gumamit lang kami ng J-checkbox to let user select multiple item. So, hindi lang siya isang item, kundi pwedeng maramihan na item yung pwedeng i-select ng user. So, next naman is yung J-table. We have two J-table here. First is the selected items. So, dito sa selected items, lalabas dito yung mga sinelect ni user na item. Sa first column, meron tayong item name. And then yung second column is yung fee. So, next naman na table is the transaction log. Dito lalabas yung summary ng transaction. So, dito sa column 1, meron name, age, sex, courses na pinili nila, services, and then yung pinaka-total fee. Then, next, yung last natin na components is yung J button. We have two buttons here. First is for the calculate fee, and yung last is for the clear. That will explain in detail by our ibang member. So that concludes our explanation and about the components that we use in our system po.
Hello everyone, my name is Jericho Jonko, and today I will explain the design font TWCent MT, Verdana, colors, background panels, borders, title border. TWCent MT serve as the professional voice for our headers and titles because its geometric, narrow design makes labels stand out clearly without taking up excessive horizontal space. I use Verdana for my checkboxes and table rows, especially to reduce eye strain, as its wide letter spacing and large X height ensure that the prices and course name remain legible even the smaller font sizes. The background colors act as a functional map for the user, where the tan content pane defines the boundaries of the application. The cream-colored panels highlight active work areas, and the light blue transaction panel visually isolates the output from the input zone. By implementing the title border, you provide the necessary structural containment that prevents the many checkbox and text field from overlapping visually, while the centered titles act as clear, instant signposts for the user data entry flow. Thank you.
Hello and greetings everyone. I'm Trisha Ann Pangaliban, and now I'll explain the layout and overall structure of our user interface. First, we use a null layout, which means hindi kami gumamit ng automatic layout manager. Instead, nag-manual po kaming mag-posisyon ng mga components using the setCounts method. And as you can see po in our interface, naka-organize na siya into different panels for better structure. Dito po sa upper left, we have student information panel, where users input their name, age, and selected their sex using radio buttons. Then, below that is the courses and services panel, which is divided po into two sections. Dito po sa left side, makikita niyo po yung mga available courses, and sa right side naman po is yung mga special services. Naka-arrange po yung mga checkboxes para sa easy selection ng layout. And dito naman po sa kabila, sa selected item panels, dito naman po naka-display yung mga chosen courses and services along with their corresponding fees and table format. Tapos po dito sa right side ng UI namin, dito po namin nilagay yung transaction log panel, which occupies a larger space. And this is where all process transactions are displayed po, including the student and details, student details and total fees. Ayan. Ito po. And finally, at the bottom, we position the buttons po, especially the calculate fee and the clear buttons for user actions. And yung overall naman po, yung layout po namin is structured talaga and divided into clear sections, making the interface easy po to navigate and user-friendly.
Hello and greetings. I am Michael Regis Dado, and today I will present to you the two different arrays that we use for our finals project in the subject of Decomprog 2. So as you can see, I'm gonna show you our code in Eclipse. As you can see here, I will highlight in this coming seconds the two arrays that we use, which is the 1D array and the 2D array. The 1D array is more focused on the selected items from each row or checkboxes, and the 2D array is for the transaction, which mainly is for tracking how many transaction has been has been already recorded. So first off, the 1D array temporarily stored the names and corresponding fees of the courses and services chosen by the user, with the variable of selected count tracking how many items are selected at any given time. These arrays are updated dynamically whenever a checkbox is selected or deselected. And now going to the 2D array, which is the two-dimensional array, which is the main transaction, is used to store permanent records of up to 50 student transactions, as I said before, where each row represents a single student's data, including the name, age, sex, selected courses, services, and the total fee. The transaction count variable keeps track of how many transactions have been recorded. Together, these arrays allow the system to manage both temporary selections and long-term transaction of storage more efficiently. That's all for me. To the next presenter.
So, dangal greetings everyone. Dangal greetings Ma'am Sai. And today naman po, i-explain ko yung add to selected items and remove from selected items. So, first, magpapakilala po muna ako. I'm Kinjay Langgita. And let's start na po. Magpapasid na po ako sa pag-explain, bro. Gumawa po kami ng method dito, which is nag-contain ng item name and yung fee. Then next, yung add to array, selected item names, close and open solid bracket, selected count equal to item name, and selected item fees, selected count equal to fees. So, dito naman po sa code na to is mag-insert na yung item at the next empty position doon sa may array. So, itong selected count is parang ito lang po yung magta-track kung ilang items na po yung na-stored, na yung currently po na naka-stored. Then, use the increment po, selected count, then plus increment, kasi mag-add tayo ng bagong item doon sa project natin. And next naman po is yung sa private void, remove from selected items, then yung context naman siya ng string name. So, dito po yung method, which is na pag-remove tayo ng item na ayaw natin or hindi natin kailangan sa mga sa kukunin natin. So, first po is gumawa po kami ng variable na pangalan is index to remove, then equal po natin sa minus 1, which means po is parang hindi pa po siya nakakahanap ng item na i-remove niya. Next, gumamit po kami ng loop, yan for loop, para doon po siya mag-iterate, then mag-continue po yung pag-stored po ng item na. And sa condition naman po, if selected items, and i-check niya po if yung item is hindi po null and nagmamatch po dun sa may item name na kailangan ay na gusto nating tanggalin, no? And index to remove equal to I. Now, dito naman po is ano, mister niya kung saan natin makikita yung item, then i-exit niya po doon sa loop. And if index, next naman po is if index to remove is not equal to -1. So, dito naman po, if we found daw po na -1, magpo-proceed po tayo dito sa looping, which is gumawa po ulit kami ng loop na to iterate na remove from the remove item po up to the second last item, which is pag na-found na po yung item, then selected dot count. Dito naman po is gagamit po kami ng decrement, no? Kasi magtatanggal po tayo ng item doon sa loop. Then, may nakalimutan na ako. So, may nakalimutan na ako. So, dito naman po sa selected item names, then close bracket I, and selected item names. So, dito naman po sa loob na to, parang i-move niya po yung item from position to the left para po mag-overwrite siya, then ma-remove po yung item. And so, ayun nga po, gumamit po kami ng decrement para po gumagawa ng decrement kasi nga po magtatanggal po tayo ng item doon sa may project. Then, itong selected item, then selected count equal to null. So, kaya po namin ginawang null to, and ginawa po namin 0 to para po i-clear yung last position, which is now contains ng duplicate na data. So, isa-set namin yung name ng null, then set namin siya ng 0, yung fees. Then, ayun lang po. I hope may natutunan kayo sa amin. Then, thank you.
Dangal greetings, I'm Gerald Tusho, and I'll explain the logic button of our system. This method handles what happens when the calculate fee button is clicked. First, the system validates the inputs using validate inputs. If the input is invalid, the process stops immediately. Next, it retrieves the student's information such as name, age, and gender. It also checks if at least one course or service is selected. If none are selected, it shows an error message. Please select at least one course or service. After that, the system organizes the selected items. It loops through them and separates them into courses and services. Then, it calculates the total fee by calling calculate total fee and displays the result in a dialog box. Finally, the system stores the transaction by saving all details in an array and displaying them in the transaction table. If the storage limit is reached, it shows a warning message, transaction logs full. Overall, the button logic ensures that inputs are validated, the total fee is correctly computed, and all transactions are properly stored and displayed. And now, Ms. Jimena will demonstrate the output of the system. Thank you.
Good day and Tanghal greetings. I'm Rana Jimeno, and now I will demonstrate the output of our system together with its validation and functionality. So first, this is our user interface. On the left side, we have the student information panel where the user can input their name, age, and select their sex. Below it is the courses and services section where users can choose different options through checkboxes. We also have the selected items table that shows the chosen items in real time, and on the right side is the transaction log, which stores all completed transactions. We also have the calculate fee button and the clear button. For the name field, the system requires that it should not be empty and must contain letters only. This means that the user needs to input a valid name composed of alphabet characters, and spaces are also allowed if needed. If the users leave this field blank, the system will immediately prompt an error message reminding them to enter their name. Additionally, if the user tries to input um, numbers or special characters such as symbols, the system will not accept it and will display an error message. This is to ensure that only proper name formats are entered. This validation helps maintain accurate and clean data within the system. Next is the age field. The system requires that it should not be empty and must contain valid numbers only. Aside from that, the allowed range for age is from 1 to 100 only. So if the user inputs letters, or leave it blank, or enter a number outside the allowed range like 0 or 150, uh, the system will display an error message to ensure that only valid input is accepted. Next, for the sex, the user must select either male or female. This is required before proceeding. If no option is selected, the system will prompt the user to choose one, making sure that all necessary information is completed before calculating the fee. Now moving to the courses and services section, the user can select multiple checkboxes depending on what they want to avail. Each checkbox corresponds to a specific fee. As I select items, you can see that the selected items table updates automatically. This shows a live update of the selected courses and services along with their corresponding fees. Next, I will click the Calculate Fee button. The system will validate all inputs first. If all inputs are correct, it will compute the total fee based on the selected items and display the result using a message dialog. At the same time, once you click OK, the transaction will be recorded in the transaction log table. This includes the student's name, age, sex, courses, services, and total fee. Finally, the clear button resets the system. It clears all text fields and selects all checkboxes, removes selected items, and prepares the system for a new transaction. Overall, the system ensures proper input validation, real-time updates of selected items, accurate fee computation, and proper recording of transaction history. That concludes the demonstration of our system.